Reform UK MP Lee Anderson has launched a blistering attack on Prime Minister Keir Starmer, calling him out over the ongoing voice coaching controversy. Anderson did not hold back in his criticism, accusing Starmer of hypocrisy and a lack of integrity over the incident. The controversy stems from a voice coaching session that took place at Labour Party headquarters on Christmas Eve 2020, when London was under strict Tier 4 lockdown restrictions. These rules explicitly forbade households from mixing indoors, raising serious questions about whether Starmer broke the very COVID regulations he once strongly supported. Despite the growing backlash, Prime Minister Starmer has denied any wrongdoing, insisting that he did not breach lockdown rules. However, Anderson isn't buying it, and neither are many members of the public who see this as yet another example of double standards in politics. In today's video, we'll watch as Lee Anderson absolutely eviscerates Starmer on live TV, exposing the contradictions and holding him to account in a way few politicians dare to do. But before we dive into this explosive exchange, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and become part of our fast-growing community. Just a quick one to say we do have new One Keir t-shirts available on our website. Go to britishstand.com or check the link in the description. Now, let's get into it. Watch this.
Hang on. You could use Zoom, but could you do your job as effectively if you're trying to coach the leader of the opposition to speak via Zoom? Probably not.
OK, Lee Anderson, you're shaking your head on the end there.
Well,
Come on,
we just had 2 minutes of rubbish again from Matthew Stadler. I mean, a fair play to having the backbone to come in to defend this nonsense, but he's up to his neck in it, Matthew. You know this, we all know that. And just this morning, guys, I had a constituent contact me to say that her late husband, on this date, was in hospital with some advanced forms of cancer. He's no longer with us, sadly, and his friends and his family and his loved ones were not allowed to go into that hospital ward and give him the love and respect that that man deserved. Meanwhile, Sir Keir Starmer, he was calling for harsher lockdowns. He was, this vocal coach, as you call her. I find it, as a politician, actually embarrassing that this man, who's now the Prime Minister of our country, has got to have lessons in how to speak.
Margaret Thatcher did. Lee Anderson,
Matthew,
Margaret Thatcher, a hero of your former party. Margaret Thatcher, coach.
This is not the Matthew Stadler show. You've had your 2 minutes.
You're just talking
Let
nonsense.
me have my 2 minutes. Well, that's up for debate. Is a vocal coach a key worker? Absolutely not. It's absolutely rubbish. And if he is that desperate to get coaching for his voice, two things here. I would say, one, it's a waste of money. And at the end of the day, as you'll see later, he's come out of it talking like a Dalek, a boring Dalek at that, Martin. And, it's not a key work. He could have done this on Zoom or by Teams meeting. People were getting diagnosed over the telephone, over Zoom. This is just a nonsense. I think there's more to this story than meets the eye.
What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. In other news, Rachel Reeves could be forced to announce further tax rises due to a significant shortfall in the government's finances. Economists warn that the £9.9 billion fiscal headroom has been completely evaporated by low growth, higher borrowing costs, and unexpectedly high interest rates. The Chancellor faces tough choices between cutting spending or increasing taxes after receiving the first official economic estimates from the Office for Budget Responsibility on Tuesday. While there's pressure for an emergency budget when new forecasts come out on March 26th, Reeves is expected to avoid that and propose spending cuts instead. However, with the need to fix the finances, economists suggest extending the freeze on income tax bans, a stealth tax that pulls more people into higher tax brackets, could be one option for the autumn. JP Morgan now expects Reeves to face a significant fiscal hole in the public finances, with warnings she risks breaking her ironclad fiscal rules. The Bank of England is likely to lower interest rates from 4.75% to 4.5% on Thursday because of worries about the economy not growing. However, fewer rate cuts are expected this year than earlier predicted because inflation is still high. Ruth Gregory of Capital Economics calculates that rising government borrowing costs and lower than expected interest rate cuts have already eliminated £6.3 billion from the Chancellor's £9.9 billion headroom. The Office for Budget Responsibility may further downgrade its GDP growth forecast for 2024 from 1.1% to closer to 0.7%, according to economists. Paul Johnson, head of the Institute for Fiscal Studies, said, "Small changes in their forecasts have big political impacts. More likely than not, the forecast will have got worse because of changes in interest rate expectations." Alan Monks, chief UK economist at JP Morgan, warned, "The Chancellor's fiscal headroom looks set to evaporate. The cost of government borrowing is significantly higher than it was last year, while growth remains anemic." It means Reeves faces having to either restrain spending or increase taxes, both of which are politically challenging. Goldman Sachs has also indicated there was a significant risk that the government's £9.9 billion headroom against its deficit target could be wiped out. The OBR has been consistently more optimistic about growth and inflation compared to other forecasters like the Bank of England and IMF. The Treasury is reportedly concerned about potential growth forecast downgrades, but remains confident it can find accounting solutions to avoid immediate tax rises or spending cuts. One option being considered involves promises to reduce spending in the fiscal year 2029 to 30, which would not require immediate changes to departmental budgets. The Chancellor has recently attempted to strike a more positive tone, announcing initiatives on Heathrow, planning reforms, deregulation, and benefits to drive economic growth. However, many of these measures will take years to yield results, and the OBR will not factor in plans to cut the benefits bill or planning changes due to lack of evidence of their impact. In a bid to prevent further market disruption, the Bank of England has opened applications for a new emergency lending tool, which is designed to protect pension funds during times of severe market stress. The Contingent NBFI Repo Facility, CNRF, will provide crucial support to non-banking financial institutions by offering emergency loans during periods of market turbulence. The bank will lend directly to insurers, pension funds, and certain investment strategies, with UK government bonds serving as collateral for the loans. Vicky Supporter, Bank of England, Executive Director for Markets, said, "Opening for CNRF applications marks a significant step forward in our efforts to deal with future episodes of gilt market dysfunction. Having the ability to lend to eligible non-bank financial institutions in times of severe market stress means we are better equipped to protect financial stability for the benefit of households and businesses throughout the UK." Lastly, Princess Kate has sparked a frenzy after swapping her rings for public engagements. The Princess of Wales made a notable appearance at the National Portrait Gallery on Tuesday, but her iconic sapphire engagement ring was noticeably absent from her hand. Kate, 43, visited the gallery to launch the Bowbeam Tree Trail, the first initiative based on the new Shaping Us framework published on Sunday. The princess arrived with schoolchildren by minibus for the engagement, sporting a previously unseen £1,200 blazer by Bulgarian designer Petar Petrov. In place of her familiar sapphire ring, the princess wore an eternity band, marking another recent change to her usual jewellery choices. The Princess of Wales also did not wear her engagement ring at the beginning of this year during a trip to the Royal Marsden Hospital. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.